Why pay the regular price when you can save money on every purchase with WagerBucks at both WagerTalk and Sports Memo? WagerBucks are now eligible for use on not just daily, 3-day, and 7-day passes, but all long-term and seasonal packages up to 1 full year. There are tons of options available for every budget and size of bettor. From low as $100 gets $110, all the way up to $2,500 gets you $3,000. Save every day on every pick you buy with WagerBucks.
Hey guys, welcome in and a very happy Wednesday to you here, January the 19th. Loaded card here in the association tonight. Exciting stuff coming off of those 2 games last night, and we look to find some edges for you. And we're going to do it with 3 of the finest at WagerTalk.com as we welcome in the Wednesday crew with Tony Mejia, Teddy Covers, and Rob Vino in the house for you on this Wednesday. And great card here tonight in the association. And I know you're ready to rock and roll there, Tony Mejia. So lay it on us, man. What do you got locked and loaded here tonight at WagerTalk.com?
All right. Well, we're looking to move to 6-1 on NBA 5% plays tonight. So that is locked in. There'll be a package as well. Already have something in there, but have to fill it with more player props and some sides and a couple more totals. I'm 6-0 over the last 4 days if you take out my horrible Martin Luther King Day celebration, which is brutal. Just kind of plugging away college basketball as well, package there. And then looking forward to a 5% in the NFL. I just broke down a couple games with my buddy Rob Vino, which will be out there for public consumption as well. So another busy week as we move into the latter stages of January.
Amen to that. And speaking of 5% play, I understand Mr. Teddy Covers has got one locked and loaded here tonight in the association. Teddy, what else is going on, man?
Yeah, I've only had 4 5% NBA big tickets all year. They're 4-0. Number 5 goes tonight. This game jumped at me. It really did. So hopefully we'll be able to cash another one this evening. And the 5% plays across sports have been really good. 8-2 the last 10, 23-10 the last 33, dating all the way back to May. It's not like I put out a ton of them. But 70% over the last 8 months, I'll take it any day of the week. And as part of a loaded card, I have 4 additional selections this evening. So a 5-play card in total, 3 in the association and 2 in the college ranks. You can get them all packaged together in one nice little bow over at WagerTalk and or SportsMemo.com. 5% with the all access pass for Wednesday. Bargain priced, just $39.
That is the way to do it, guys. The 5% plays, they don't come around often, but when they do for a reason. Head over there right now, WagerTalk.com. Tony Mejia, Teddy Covers, and this man, Mr. Rob Vino, president of the 1% Club. What is going on, Mr. Vino? Cha-ching with the New York Knicks last night in the first half. Right here on the show, you made it a point of telling all of us that's the direction to go, and voila, it worked out, my man. What do you got here tonight for us?
Yeah, that win was like running up Mount Everest with plastic bags over your shoes, Joe, but it got there. Thank goodness. Scores on the last 9 possessions of the first half got it up and over the total. That was the 1-0 for last night. I'll be the killjoy here. I do not have a 5%, so I'm going to recommend going to see Tony and Teddy tonight for 5% action. NFL up and available midweek here. Best selection up there now. As far as NBA goes tonight, we have 4 plays in the NBA. It's a huge card. Yesterday we came on this show, Joe. We were talking about futures and whatnot because there weren't enough games to actually talk about. Tonight there's 13 games on this card. No shortage of opportunity. Hopefully we get there with the 4 that we've picked out. So we'll look to build on that 1-0 from last night.
All right, big opportunities here tonight, guys, presenting themselves in the association. We will start with our contrarian play of the day here. And this team, boy, has certainly fallen on hard times lately. But the contrarian gods taking a look at the Chicago Bulls here tonight, taking on 3 points at home, taking on a Cleveland Cavaliers team who, well, they've been pretty busy as of late, too, haven't they? I believe this is their 4th game now in 6 nights. 3 of them, in fact, on the road. And yet the Bulls, while hurting, I'm getting points at home here, Tony Mejia. Might we interest you in a little Chicago Bull contrarian sandwich tonight?
As excited as I am by the return of Alex Caruso, I think I shall pass on this. Zach LaVine remains. I'm half kidding because Caruso is really good for that team. Brings energy and kind of a Kobe White safety net. When White's a little erratic, I think they'll be able to depend on Caruso to do the little things necessary for that team to be successful. But obviously, they're missing Big Zach. And it's a team that's, like you said, fallen on hard times, lost 5 of the last 6, including 4 in a row. Good teams they've run up against, too. Brooklyn, Golden State, Boston, and Memphis. And now the Cavaliers were playing really well. Last time these teams got together, the Cavs won 115-92 in Cleveland. We'll see if Chicago can get a little bit of revenge. But this is their only home game until January 27th, I believe. Deeper that because I'm looking at a postponement there, so I'm not sure which game is that. But they're not on the road until deep. They're not back home until deep in January, and will be playing at Milwaukee next. So really tough spot in the schedule for Billy Donovan and the Bulls. And at this point, Cleveland just playing really well. Darius Garland sneaking into NBA All-Star consideration with how well he's played at the point for the Cavaliers. So the contrarian gods like the Bulls, I say have at that because I will not hop on board with you.
Teddy, the spot isn't great for either of these two teams, given the scheduling here with the Cavs now, like we said, 4 games in 6 nights, 3 on the road. The Bulls banged up, but DeRozan, Vucevic, White, now Caruso back. Do you trust Cleveland to keep rolling here on the road tonight?
Yes. I mean, you asked me, this is what I'm going to do to the contrarian gods right now. We're going to flip them off.
Woohoo!
Because I'm happy to go contrarian when the situation speaks to contrarian. Right now, Chicago is a shell of the team that they were, flat out. We've seen it throughout the course of the last week. I'm not betting on the Bulls without their starting backcourt. Not going to do it. We're not talking about second-tier players. We're talking about potential all-stars at both starting backcourt positions. Without LaVine, without Ball. The uniform says Bulls, but it's not the Bulls. And the Cavs have been basically impervious to the scheduling spots. There are 2 teams that stand out in that regard. Maybe 3 teams. Oklahoma City goes. The 3 best point spread teams in the NBA. And Memphis, OKC, and Cleveland have all 3 of them the one same characteristic. Spot hasn't mattered. The effort's there every night. Cavs trail the Bulls by a game and a half in the Eastern Conference standings, and Cleveland's talking about that right now, which may be concerning. But then again, you get this Billy Donovan quote. He knows what his Bulls team is right now. For us right now, our margin for error is not great. Turnovers here, offensive rebound, a couple of easy transition points. We got to eliminate those things. We don't generate a lot of easy baskets now because of our size and the way we are with all the injuries. Donovan knows his team's not any good right now. Cavs or pass, contrarian gods or not.
Love that. I love that. He basically just told it, kiss my ass, contrarian gods. I love it, Rob. Talk to me here, Rob. It's a tough spot for both, but to Teddy's point, does it really matter? Are you back in Cleveland or Chicago in this one?
Listen, nobody loves flipping off the contrarian gods more than me, so I'm glad Teddy's all over that. What I'm not glad about is never come to one of these Wager Talk shows with a quote and then follow Teddy covers because your quote's going to get swallowed. So exactly what Teddy said about Billy Donovan, I would have read to you, but it does go to show that he feels that it's a tough road right now for his team to score points offensively, right? We know they're a small team. They don't generate a lot of interior stuff. And when you take that backcourt away from them, it makes it even harder. And in fact, the way this game matches up, guys, I mean, the interior advantage for Cleveland, it's significant on most nights. It's really magnified on nights like this because, you don't even have Javonte Green. You haven't had Patrick Williams for a long, long time here. I mean, Chicago's front court is decimated as far as size is concerned and quality size, guys that can score, guys that can defend. Cleveland marches their big three right across the front, and that picket fence is all back intact. So that's a big advantage. And now the Chicago backcourt advantage, which would normally be significant because of Cleveland's, point guard woes due to injury, that is shrunk. Alex Caruso coming back is a good plus, as Tony Mejia mentioned, because he's such a good defender, but he may be on a minutes limit tonight. Ayo Dosunmu has played very, very well as of late at point guard, but can he defend Darius Garland enough? I'm not sure. Cleveland's definitely short backcourt, guys. If you just want to go back to the game that they played earlier this season, 115-92, a 23-point win by the Cavs at home over the Bulls. In that game, Levine and Ball were the two high scorers for Chicago, 23 and 19 combined for 42 points. They did not have DeRozan or Caruso or Javonte Green in that game. So, I mean, you're getting DeRozan, Caruso here. You're not getting Ball and Levine. It's not quite an even swap, I don't think. So the advantage just grows for the Cavaliers here. Again, a lot of what these guys said, Cleveland's basically wearing blinders when it comes to scheduling, where we're playing. They just go out and play. And J.B. Bickerstaff actually called that a landmark victory on Martin Luther King Day over the Brooklyn Nets, despite the fact that the Nets didn't have Kevin Durant. So Cleveland's mindset is there. I'm going to add to Teddy, and I'll flip off the contrarian gods here as well. I like Cleveland.
God, I wish you guys that has not worked out well in the past, but it is what it is. As the contrarian gods are looking at the Chicago Bulls as a home dog here tonight, +3 against the Cleveland Cavaliers. All right, we'll move on to our featured matchup here, guys. And boy, oh boy, this is going to be fun, isn't it? As we take a look at the Memphis Grizzlies taking on the Milwaukee Bucks here as this game opened up right around that 6.5 mark here, and 225.5 is an opening total. 8 o'clock, 8:10 tonight, actually, the tip-off here. And, man, I don't know. Do we get in front of this Memphis train? I don't know what to do with this Memphis team here, Teddy. Do you trust them enough to keep it rolling here against Milwaukee?
So let me start with this. All right, there isn't much that's going to get me to the betting window to go against the Memphis Grizzlies right now. It's either I'm on Memphis or I'm passing the game until proven otherwise. But, the Grizzlies have been obviously a top 3 team in terms of point spreads. But more than that, they are that good. There's nothing that Memphis is doing during this stretch that's fraudulent. But the betting markets have been real reluctant to price Memphis with the elite teams of the Western Conference. And this point spread shows us that. So, once again, the Grizzlies disrespected in the markets. That being said, this is one thing. The Bucks have been extraordinarily consistent. All right, for 2 or 3 years, you played on Milwaukee off a loss, and you made money with that. Last year, the year before, that was real good. This year, off the championship, the Bucks haven't been anywhere near as good off a loss, but they have been real good off back-to-back losses, like they're coming into this game. And I mean real good off, though. They've had a bunch of 2-game losing streaks this season. Only won 3-game skid, and that came back in October. And they've done that despite the fact that all these different guys are shuttling in and out of the lineup. So it is a Bucks spot. I'm not stepping in front of Memphis. So I'm going to Switzerland this one for you, which doesn't do our audience a whole lot of good.
It is a tough spot. I mean, we look at the 4:30 report here. We've got no Desmond Bane, Rob, Tyus Jones, Kyle Anderson. They were just added yesterday. Dylan Brooks still not available. It does appear that there's a shot that Drew Holiday comes back tonight for the Bucks here. So all signs may be pointing, health-wise anyway, the Bucks the healthier team. But does that mean you're going to back them here tonight?
Well, I would have a problem backing Memphis personnel-wise in this game, Joe. And Milwaukee hasn't been good lately, right? We go through their point spread results. They're a 2-6 team against the number. Last 8 games, they just let one slip away. Monday at Atlanta. Atlanta, a team that, for all intent and purposes, is a hot mess, and yet they showed mettle enough to come back from a 12-point halftime deficit and catch the Bucks in the fourth quarter. And when I think the Bucks were 23-0 when leading after 3 quarters up until the other day. However, I mean, I go through this checklist, and you just did part of the work for me. Without Dylan Brooks is bad enough. Right? That's their top two-way wing on the team, Dylan Brooks, offensive and defenses. Now you add Desmond Bane to this list. He's their next best two-way wing. He's been tremendous. In fact, Chris Allen, if you're listening at some point, I want you to go back to the 2020 draft show that we all did here and just play back that piece where I talked about Desmond Bane being a surprise pick down the bottom. I like when you make me look smart, Chris. I can't do it on my own. It's at the 1730 mark if you need to check. I looked it up last night. You do that, Desmond Bane and Dylan Brooks, and now you're talking about missing point guards too. Ja's going to have a lot on his shoulders tonight. Tyus Jones, backup point, out of here. Kyle Anderson, of course, good offensive player, out of here. It really, to me, boils down to where it becomes the Ja Morant, Jaren Jackson show for Memphis against the Bucks. I mean, yeah, Melton and Clark are nice, but I don't think it's enough. I don't think they have enough offensive firepower. And I'm going to say this about the Bucks. Over the course of this last 2-6 poor ATS streak, right? The one time they showed was in that Golden State game when it was a big game and they had a elite opponent against Golden State. The one game sandwiched in all this mess that they've created lately is a 118-99 win. When they have to hit the gas pedal, this team is still very capable. They blew Golden State out from start to finish in that particular game. I wouldn't be surprised if they're just as motivated here tonight. Line hasn't budged at all. People are scared to bet Milwaukee, or they're very content playing Memphis minus a bunch of key players. I think if I had to, I'd be on the Bucks here. Total has moved tremendously in this game, Joe. Not exactly sure why, unless people money believes that Memphis can't defend as well here. I'm not sure, but I do think Milwaukee's probably the right side.
All right. Thinking Milwaukee is the right side. How about you, Tony Mejia? You think 6.5? You think the number's right here?
I need to know if Drew Holiday is playing. Simple as that. Because at this point, you've got, if you trusted Santa Claus and he dropped you a note on Christmas Eve and said, play the Grizzlies, it's a gift that keeps on giving, you'd be 11-2 against the spread since December 25th. So they've been tremendous, and they've had guys in and out of the lineup. But again, they've had Desmond Bane. They've had Tyus Jones for the most part being a real stabilizing factor that allows Ja Morant to get a breather when he needs it, and then Ja finishes teams off and has. But Drew Holiday would be a major chore for him to play 40 plus minutes against them, because that's what it's going to take tonight. And I think Memphis is going to be up for that challenge. And that's what scares me about just blindly saying I'm going to ride Milwaukee if Drew Holiday plays, because I don't think that would be the case either. They're a little loose right now. I was on the under in Atlanta and Milwaukee the other night, feeling pretty good considering the Hawks scored 17 first quarter points, and then they end up with 121, and the game shoots over by a bucket. And that's the kind of night it was on Martin Luther King Day. And you kind of saw Milwaukee really struggling there at the end of that game to get stops, missing Drew Holiday, understanding that George Hill isn't meant to play as many minutes as he's been out there. And Memphis comes into this game with a healthy Steven Adams, with Jaren Jackson Jr. really protecting the rim and playing well, and the guys that are going to have to step up and play major minutes with Bane and Brooks out and Jones out, and DeAnthony Melton and John Conchar both playing at a high level. So this is a game that I think they'll be up for. You're playing the defending champs to start a 4-game road trip. Denver's up next, and Dallas and San Antonio. So Ja Morant, his big mantra this season is, I'm not scared of anybody. Let's go. Let's embrace the challenge. Let's try to keep it going. Shorthanded, I think that puts that big chip on your shoulder to where even in that role of you're playing one of the better home teams over the past few years in their building, and you're giving me 6.5 as a team that's 11-2 against the spread last 13, I'm not going to write you off. So I'm definitely interested in seeing how this game unfolds. Not interested in wagering on it at all.
All right. Well, they have certainly faced adversity here this year and done pretty well. We'll see if they can get another one under their belt here as Memphis and Milwaukee tonight. Should be a good one. We will head over to our overtime matchup here as we take a look at the total in one of these games. And, well, why not go to the biggest one here? This should be fun. How about the Atlanta Hawks taking on the Minnesota Timberwolves? As this number continues to climb from 233, we're seeing 236s, 236 and a halves. And I mean, who can blame them, Rob Vino, with these two teams right now? So my question is it simply an over or not spot for you tonight?
I don't know if it's that simple, Joe. I really don't. We had one of these Timberwolves games last week. I forget who it was against. Total was up near 240. Wound up not going over, hitting the mid 220s. Statistically, I could give you a lot of reasons why you would like over. I even went to the first half because at 236, I don't think I want to get involved. So I tried to look at some first half numbers here. For the T-Wolves, last 5 games, they've gone over the number in 4 of those first halves. 3 of those 4 overs actually went 123 or better, and you're asked to get over to 121 here. So, it would make a little sense toward over with recent form. Some of those games don't include Patrick Beverley inserted back into the lineup, but a couple of them do. However, if I go to back-to-back road games, how do they do first half totals? They're only 1 and 2, so they kind of contradict each other. The Hawks, however, are the constant. I mean, they're the common denominator. 8 and 3 over last 11, play 0 defense, want to outscore you, do nothing else. We still don't know what's going on in the trade for the trade deadline here. It seems like that interior is fractured in Atlanta. There's a huge disparity where the Timberwolves are concerned. Another thing that might lean you toward over in this particular situation, home games. And the Wolves are one of those very few teams that have actually split home and road in their 44 games this year. 22 on the road, 22 at home. So the 22 at home, the final game result has averaged 209.7 at home. But on the road, it goes up 20 points, 228.9, basically 229 points in 22 road games. So that would suggest to you take this Timberwolves road team that may be a little fatigued after a 112-110 hard-fought game against the Knicks last night. Maybe they don't play as much defense here. The Hawks are always willing to play teams that don't want to play defense. They don't either. Maybe you can make a small case for over, but it's becoming out of my price range here. So I'll leave you with that. If you want to play a couple bucks on over, I can't blame you, but I don't think I'll be there.
Teddy, it seems like Minnesota at full capacity there when they've got all their big guys there, big start. They are just a different animal. You throw Beverly in there, and all of a sudden this team can match with anybody. But I don't know. Do we trust both of these teams to land us in the 240s to cash a ticket tonight?
Well, I mean, and that's basically what you need. You don't want either team to be under 115 tonight, or you're going to be sweating trying to cash this ticket. What a lot of times with a non-conference total like this, where two teams from opposite conference, I'm going to go back and look at if they played that first meeting. And that first meeting between these two teams back in December stands out to me for one reason. All right. Neither team shot the ball well from 2-point range. But between them, they made 42 three-pointers. And they got to 231. So they made up, 25 for the one side, 17 for the other side. And they only got to 231 in that game. The pace wasn't there. The efficiency on the offensive end, other than the three-point shooting, wasn't there. That concerns me here. 236 in this year's NBA is a huge number. Minnesota's on the second night of back-to-back. It's not like the T-Wolves control pace a lot, but this isn't a spot where they're necessarily going to be looking to push pace. And Atlanta, what does Atlanta do well? Nothing right now. Really. And coming off a rare home win for the Hawks, in which they rallied from behind to get it. maybe the pace is there, but it's not a game. I apologize for Switzerlanding everything today, but I'm not betting this one over. It's too high, and I'm not excited about playing these two teams under. So slight lean to the under, but it's like Rob. It's like,
getting rich.
Not much.
Yeah. Yep. It's a tough spot here. I mean, but these two teams, Tony Mejia, more than capable of jacking us up into the 240s here. But do you trust that they'll do it here tonight?
Yeah, at the risk of sounding like the John Ryan angle of the day, this is the third game in 4 nights where on the second night of a back-to-back, Minnesota goes out there, and it hasn't happened since late November, and they are 2-1 against the total with the over coming in. They got blown out 129-102 against the Clippers. All of these happened in back-to-back in November. Then there was an instance against the Spurs where they held them to 90, won 115-90, and then at Philadelphia, won 121-120. And tonight, who's going to be engaged? I mean, I thought Karl Anthony Towns would have a monster game in New York because he only gets to play Madison Square Garden once. He's a New Jersey kid. Didn't really happen. Anthony Edwards playing in Atlanta only happens once a year, obviously, Georgia product. So that'll be interesting to see how he fares there. But you mentioned Patrick Beverley, or I think Rob did, his defense on Trae Young. Does he have it in him to be an agitator? We saw that without Clint Capella, Young went to Onyeka Okongwu and actually played really well the other night and finished around the rim. It was necessary to have that contribution to come back on Milwaukee. So he's going to be on call again tonight. Just the fact that we need both teams to get to such a high total it takes me off of this one completely.
Yeah, it's a tough spot. It should be an entertaining game if they do go over. That's for sure, guys. All right, so we've got our overtime matchup, and now it is time to hear from the dogs. Robbie, let's see what we got.
That's my dog. That's my dog. That's my dog. That's my dog. And anybody got to say anything, you let me know. That's my dog.
And we have a shit ton of them tonight to look through here as the Nets, the Magic, the Hornets, the Blazers, T-Wolves, Bulls, Grizz. We got the Raptors. We have the Thunder, shocker. Oh, my God, the Rockets are a dog, 13.5. We got the Pistons. We got the Clippers. And, of course, the Indiana Pacers +5 against the Lakers, the late money. All right, Mejia, kick us off here. Plenty of opportunities to back a dog tonight. Which one would you make your own?
I will take the Toronto Raptors in Dallas. Dallas 10-1 to the last 11 to the under, and the Raptors 5-0 in the last 5 to the low side. So you think we'll get some defense tonight, and I just think this is going to be a game that's up for grabs there down the stretch. Dallas probably without Maxi Kleber. I haven't seen the 4:30 for confirmation of that, but his injury the other day didn't look great. And Toronto coming in healthy if they can get Gary Trent Jr. in the mix tonight, and I think he will play. He's been questionable for the last few games, which will land them at full strength, for this contest, which I think, again, is one that they could steal. Now they say Kleber is probable, as is Reggie Bullock, so Dallas will be at full strength with Kristaps Porzingis having come back the other day. This is one of the sneaky, really good matchups on tonight's card. But I just think the Raptors have a chance to steal it outright. Not on the injury report at all, but considering I saw it with my own two eyes, Luka Doncic had an ankle sprain the other day that didn't look great. So he's obviously fine. But again, I think the Raptors have enough depth and playing well enough with Pascal Siakam really rediscovering his form to potentially steal this game outright. So go ahead and give me those points with the Toronto Raptors.
All right, so he is taking points with the Raptors here tonight. Should be a fun one, too. Gary Trent Jr. I was waiting to still see on him as questionable. Teddy, my goodness, lot to choose from here, man. Which dog on this card would you make your own tonight?
Well, this one's real simple for me. All right. We have a Hawks team that they did snap their 10-game home losing streak last time out, but Atlanta, in a game that they care about, they show up, and the Bucks, the defending Eastern Conference champs, the defending NBA champs, was a game that Atlanta cared about, and they showed up in the fourth quarter and found a way to steal it. Although, if you read the Bucks quotes after the game, it was more they felt it was more about them screwing up and giving Atlanta the chance, as opposed to the Hawks doing all that much right. But Atlanta is a fade as a favorite every time you see them right now. And I was like, look at the spot for Minnesota. Huge game yesterday, huge win yesterday. T-Wolves are ready to start stringing some wins together. Give me Minnesota plus the points.
All right.
The Hawks can't be chalked.
I know where you were going. I'll get the Hawks, baby. That's where we're looking there. Hawks and T-Wolves here tonight. Atlanta has this thing where when they care, they're one team. When they don't, it seems to be a motivational problem. Rob Vino, talk to us here. What do you think? Which one of these teams here would you make? Don't you dare say who I think you're going to say, Vino. Who you going with here?
Generally you want to tag me as the guy that will grab the most points, Joe. But how about if I feel like I'm just I'm cheating on a school test here by going for the least amount of points. But I'm going to take Brooklyn against Washington. The last 5 Nets losses have been followed up by a win. They definitely get right back on the horse after they get defeated. Here, you're not asking them to lay anything. You're just asking them to go out there and win a game. It's a road game where you'll get Kyrie. I still don't think the Wizards, for the most part, are to be trusted on the defensive side. It probably gets into a little bit of a score fest, as indicated by the surge towards over where the total is concerned. I mean, they started playing that thing last night as soon as it opened. Haven't really stopped playing it. So you're looking at a high-scoring game, and I just think the Nets probably have that little extra defensive effort in them. It's funny, ever since Steve Nash has become the head coach of this team, guys, it seems like he'll let them go out there for 3 quarters, but when push comes to shove and he wants to win a game, they've put up some really good defensive fourth quarters over the course of the year and a half that Nash has been at the helm. I think that might happen here again. 3 quarters you see up and down. Fourth quarter, the Nets put their minds to it. I'm going to take the Nets plus the point here to, I don't even know if you can call it an outright win, but to be my dog of the day.
How in the hell do you go from taking all them points to taking barely 1 point in the game? You are as confusing as all hell. All right, there you got it, guys.
Yes.
Now it is time. 60 seconds on the clock. It is time for best bets here. And Tony Mejia, you are going to start us off, my friend. A lot of places to go on the card tonight. Which one of these games do you like a little bit more than the others?
Well, I like in this rematch between Denver and the Clippers, which saw Denver blow a 25-point lead at Crypto.com Arena to start last week, in which the Clips won 87-85. I think we're going to see another low-scoring game. This one is on national television, and the Nuggets are down another man as JaMychal Green has landed back in safety protocols, and they just made a big deal where they traded the injured P.J. Dozier and Bol, who got returned to them due to failing a physical, for Bryn Forbes, which is a really nice pickup for them, with him and Bones Highland. I think they've got some shooters there, but Forbes won't play tonight, obviously. Nicholas Batum lands on the COVID IR after a 32-point outburst the other night. So the Clippers are a little bit shorthanded. They do get Luke Kennard back. I think these teams have seen just enough of each other to where both know exactly where they want to go. Good defense coming from the Clippers against Nikola Jokic. So I like the under 214.
Going under 214 tonight in that matchup there. And Teddy, there's some games on this board here. You coming down to Miami? Where you going here tonight on this card?
I am coming down to Miami, and I'm looking to fade the Miami Heat in this point spread rate. Look, Miami's a great underdog. All right, 13-2 against the spread, 15 tries a dog this year. All right, short favorites, fine. As a favorite of -7.5 or higher, they're 33% for the full season. Last 6 home games, how many wins by double digits? None. They played the Blazers earlier this month. Did they beat Portland by double digits? No. Is Miami in good mid-season rhythm right now? No, they are not. They're transitioning. Jimmy Butler just back in the lineup. Bam Adebayo back in the lineup. Kyle Lowry, the point guard, not in play for tonight. So it's not a team in midseason form. And here's Portland, a garbage team that's on a real uptick right now. They've been awful on the road all year. They just notched back-to-back road wins. Blazers offer value at this number. Give me Portland plus the points.
Woo! Let me just say, if you are coming to Miami, pack some damn thermals, man. Temperatures in the upper 50s. Look, we are freezing here, all right, in South Florida. I'm just telling you, we're freezing in Florida right now. Rob Vino, talk to us, my man. Where on this card is your best bet landing tonight?
Listen, we already talked about this game, and I gave you a few things. I'm going to add to this. Unlike my two buddies above me, I'm pretty strong on Milwaukee tonight, and I'm going to play them first half minus 3.5. This wing defender stuff missing for Memphis is a big deal. At Milwaukee, they're a great three-point shooting team. You know who's one of the worst three-point defending teams against the three in the league? It's Memphis. They rank 26th. It's a weakness, and you've taken Dillon Brooks, you've taken Desmond Bane, you've taken Tyus Jones, you've taken all perimeter defenders off this team. I don't know who's going to defend. DiVincenzo, Grayson Allen, Middleton, Pat Connaughton. Last week when they showed up and played Golden State, you know who Golden State had? They didn't have John Morant, but they had Steph Curry. They had Klay Thompson. They had Andrew Wiggins. You know who they didn't have? One of their best wing defenders, Draymond Green. Milwaukee lit that team up for 77 in the first half. I could see it happening again. Child force early. Give me Milwaukee first half minus 3.5.
Boom! I do just want to go on the record and say that if Rob Vino tells you that missing Desmond Bane is going to be a problem here for Memphis tonight, let me just let you guys in on.
But for me, down the bottom of the draft, I've seen enough of Big 12 basketball to say that Desmond Bane, his shooting ability, his body is NBA ready at this point. They list him as a potential shooting guard in the league, but I think in the era of positionless basketball, I would just qualify him as wing. He's a very good defender, obviously playing for Jamie Dixon at TCU. You have to be. But I think that Desmond Bane is a guy that maybe, because he's at the bottom of the first round in most mock drafts, people aren't really looking at, but I think that could make an immediate contribution in this league. So for me, that would be a guy to look for, Desmond Bane.
I don't even know what to say, Rob. Bravo. That was bad. Two flashbacks. There it is. 2020, man.
Have video of me nodding like a bobblehead dog?
That's good. Yeah, no, Chris. Chris, well done back there, Chris, in the home offices. Well done there, Rob. So don't ever say we're not on top of it there, Vino. He is on top of it when it comes to the Memphis Grizzlies and Desmond Bane. Oh, shit. Apparently, we have a John Ryan angle of the day here. Oh, my goodness. I wasn't even ready. Where is it? I wasn't even ready for this, damn it.
Where the hell is it?
Hold on. Let's see what we got here. We're going to go for Memphis, Milwaukee tonight. Our good friend John Ryan over at Sports Memo said, look at the graphics on this. I love it. We want to bet on home favorites between 3.5 and 9.5 points. We want the visitor having covered in 4 or 5 of their last 6. And we want the visiting team to have a win percentage of greater than 60% on the season. If those 3 things happen, it is 92-60 against the number. That is 61% over the last 5 seasons. Rob Vino, John Ryan's angle of the day is in agreement with you. Back the Milwaukee Bucks tonight to get it done. Don't ask me to explain it again. As a recap, one more time for you guys, here's what we've got. We got Tony Mejia. He's back in the Toronto Raptors to get it done with those 3.5 points tonight. His best bet, Clippers, Nuggets, under 214 in this one. Teddy, he likes the T-Wolves, plus 1.5 as his dog. Not buying that Atlanta is going to be excited for this one at all. His best bet, though, he's coming down here to Miami. He's going to take as many points as you want to give him with the Trailblazers, plus 9.5. And Rob Vino, his dog is barking, minus Durant. He's going to take the Nets in just 1 point. However, his best bet is the Bucks. Take him in the first half. Lay the 3.5. Do we have to tell you Desmond Bane's not playing again? Our contrarian play of the day going to be the Bulls. Plus 3. Despite getting the middle finger from both Rob Vino and Teddy Covers here, the contrarian god's still going with the Bulls. Plus 3 against the Cavs there, guys. And don't forget, Of course, best bets are locked and loaded over at WagerTalk.com for all three of these gentlemen. You can also catch Teddy Covers over at SportsMemo.com. The bottom line is 5% plays for Teddy Covers and for Tony Mejia are up and ready to go. Now would be the time that you hop on one of those 3-day, 7-day, 30-day all-access packages. And guess what? You'll get every one of them, including all their 5% best bets. What a week and what a night to start going, guys. Head over to WagerTalk.com and or SportsMemo.com for Teddy. Visit Rob Vino, Tony Mejia, and Teddy Covers, guys. And let's start the profit train rolling here tonight in the association. On behalf of Tony Mejia, Teddy Covers, and Rob Vino, guys, appreciate it. Shout out to Chris back at the home office there. Well done. We'll be back again tomorrow, so make sure you hit that bell in the upper right-hand corner and make plans to come back and join us. So best of luck with your plays tonight, guys. Come back and join us again for another NBA tip-off show tomorrow. Good luck. We'll see you then.
Why pay the regular price when you can save money on every purchase with WagerBucks at both WagerTalk and SportsMemo? WagerBucks are now eligible for use on not just daily, 3-day, and 7-day passes, but all long-term and seasonal packages up to 1 full year. There are tons of options available for every budget and size of bettor. From low as $100 gets $110, all the way up to $2,500 gets you $3,000. Save every day on every pick you buy with WagerBucks.